Hey everybody, it's low carb and keto nutrition specialist Amy Berger bringing you, as always, keto without the crazy. You are in for a big treat today because I'm going to share with you one of my personal top keto mindset tips. Something that can and I hope will help you get past old roadblocks, get past obstacles, get past all the stuff in here that has been holding you back from getting the best results with keto and from getting to where you want to go. But before I share this mindset tip with you, I want to say thank you. Thank you for watching this video. I know that there are about 4 million other keto channels and keto videos that you could have clicked on, and you clicked on this one. So I thank you for doing that. I appreciate you being here. I appreciate you taking the time to watch this video, and I genuinely hope that it is helpful for you and that it does help you get past that old junk that is holding you back. And before I get into it, I just have to say that that little thank you was inspired by Mel Robbins. Some of you may be familiar with her. She has a very popular and famous podcast. She's written a few books, all of them about mindset and breaking past old, unhelpful patterns that no longer serve us and building the life that we want. She often includes somewhere in the podcast, thank you. Thank you for listening to this podcast. Thank you for listening to something that could genuinely change your life. And I hope it does, help you create the life that you want. So thank you for clicking on this video, and I hope it helps you get on a better path with keto. So what is this mindset tip, Amy? I want you to ask better questions. Do you know that saying, nature abhors a vacuum? Well, your brain also abhors a vacuum. Your brain does not like to have empty space and unanswered questions. If you ask a question, your brain will answer it. It will provide an answer. So we want to make sure that we are being very careful about the questions we ask. And we want to make sure that we are asking questions that give our brain the opportunity to provide helpful, constructive, actionable, positive answers and solutions. We don't want to ask lousy, crappy questions that only give the brain the chance to answer with garbage, with answers that are unhelpful and negative and self-defeating and keep us stuck. And I'm going to give you some examples. And I'm sharing this with you mostly in the context of keto, and that's whether you are using keto to lose weight or reverse your type 2 diabetes or reverse your PCOS, reverse metabolic syndrome, fatty liver, improve your skin, whatever the thing may be, right? Keto is good for so many different things. It could be a mental health thing. Whatever your goal may be with keto, this can apply to you. And if you are not struggling with keto, if you're doing keto great and you're getting awesome results and you don't really need any help, well, thanks for watching this video anyway. But this strategy that I'm going to share with you can absolutely be applied to any other number of areas in life, to any habit you're trying to make progress with, to any feature. It could be in your profession, in your personal life, in anywhere. This strategy can be applied. But let me give you some specific examples of the unhelpful, terrible questions that give your brain no other option but to fill it with an unhelpful answer. And I can almost guarantee that some of you, or many of you, have asked these questions. Why is this so hard? This meaning keto. Why is keto so hard? Well, your brain, if you ask why it's so hard, your brain will tell you why it's so hard. Well, you really like sugar, you really like sweets, you really like bread, and no one else in your house is eating this way, so you're the only one doing it. Of course it's really hard. You're on your own, and all their food is around. Like, your brain is going to why is it so hard? Your brain will tell you why it's so hard. Why can't I stick to this? Why can't I stick to keto? Well, you've never stuck to anything. You never see anything through. Why would keto be any different? Or why can't you stick to it? Again, because you're addicted to sugar, or you just like to eat starch and no one in your family supports you, and whatever. Your brain will fill the void. And if you ask a crappy question, it's going to fill that void with a crappy answer that is completely counterproductive to helping you move forward. Another one that I like is, what's wrong with me? Right? When you sort of get in that spiral of negativity. Why is this so hard? Why can't I stick to keto? What's wrong with me? Well, when you ask, what's wrong with you? What do you think your brain is going to tell you? Your brain is going to tell you all the things you think are wrong with you that you've probably been thinking for 10, 20, 40 years. Well, what's wrong with you? Well, you're fat, lazy, you have no willpower, you have no discipline. Of course you're not sticking to this. What's wrong with you? Everything. You're a total failure. You've never succeeded at anything. Why would keto be any different? Do you see? This is a terrible strategy. This is not how we want to do things. So when I say ask better questions, we need to reframe and reword these questions in such a way that instead of the only possible answer being negative and self-critical and self-beating down, that we instead give the brain, your brain, the opportunity to provide answers that are actually helpful, that you can actually do something with, and that will actually start chipping away at this old self-defeatist, self-destructive bullcrap, frankly. So examples of the more helpful questions would be, instead of, why is this so hard? Why is keto so hard? How about instead of that, we ask, how can I make this easier? How can I make it easier? And then, wow, that has opened up a whole new world of possibilities, a whole vista, a whole gorgeous landscape of answers that actually give you actionable information. How can I make this easier? Maybe I need to meal prep once a week. I have a video on that. I'll include a link in the notes for your convenience. Maybe I need to find a support group, whether online or in person. Maybe if I'm the only one in my household that eats keto, maybe it would be easier if I had some other support system outside my home. Maybe, how can I make it easier? Maybe I need to find new recipes. Maybe I'm just bored. I'm tired of eating bunless burgers and cans of sardines or whatever you're eating. But you see how rewording the question gives your brain the chance to fill that void with something that actually helps you instead of keeps you stuck and feeling awful and terrible about yourself. Another reframe could be, what did I say? Why is this so hard? I said, how can we make it easier? What was the second thing I said? Why can't I stick to keto? Why can't I stick to this? So instead of that, we say, how can I stick to this? How can I stick to this? Again, maybe I need to meal prep. Maybe I need to, if I have the means to do so, maybe I need to subscribe to a meal delivery service that will literally put keto food on my doorstep. Maybe I need to get professional help. Maybe I need to have a consultation with Amy Berger, Keto Without the Crazy. I do that. There's a link in the notes to book a consultation with me. Maybe I need professional guidance. Maybe I've been doing it wrong and that's why it's not working so well for me. But how can I stick to this? And then the what's wrong with me, that's a harder one. That's a harder one to fix because that's a very deep question that lends itself to, again, all of those really terrible self-defeatist answers like, what's wrong with me? Well, I'm a fat, lazy slob. I have no willpower and discipline. I'm unmotivated and I just don't work that hard. That's what's wrong with me. Like, what can you do with that? That's going to get you nowhere. If anything, when you feel like that, when that's what you hear, what do we do when that's the message that we give ourselves all day long? We reach for the food, and we're probably not reaching for a roasted chicken thigh. We're probably not reaching for roasted curry cauliflower. We're reaching for chips or crisps if you're watching this in the UK. We reach for sweets. We reach for ice cream. We reach for, I don't know what, muffins, cookies, cakes, whatever's handy. So again, this is a harder one to reframe, but let's say instead of what's wrong with me, what would have to change, or what would I have to change in order to actually start getting somewhere with keto? And again, with keto, this could be applied to any other area of your life, but this is a keto channel. What would have to change in order for me to really make some progress here? And then again, we open up this huge opportunity for your brain to come up with things that you could change, that could help the situation. You know, if you have zero time to meal prep ever because you're tending to everybody else's business literally all day, every day, maybe you need to hire a babysitter once a week for half a day so you can meal prep. Maybe you need to enlist the help of your spouse, your partner, your children that are maybe of an age where they can help with meal prep or help with something, laundry, something to free up some time for you. Maybe you need to stop putting so much pressure on yourself to cook everything from scratch. I think these are just examples. I mean, there could be any number of answers here that apply to your personal situation. Maybe you need to get a little more comfortable with getting a rotisserie chicken from the store, or getting some turkey from the deli counter at the supermarket. Maybe you need to, I don't know what, stuff like that. Rely more on convenience foods and give yourself the grace to know that that's totally fine as long as it's all low in carbs. You don't have to make everything from scratch. You don't have to buy everything from the farmer's market, right? Even, what would need to change, or what would I have to change? Maybe you need to start bringing your lunch to work. If maybe you tend to do really well at home, but at work and everybody's going out to the certain place that they like, or they're ordering into the office or whatever, maybe you need to do that. I did a video recently on staying keto over the weekends or on the weekends. Maybe you need to start planning for the weekends. Where are you going? What are you going to do? What will you eat? What will you plan to have on hand in case you don't know any of that? And then you can just grab something and run. So it's just, you will come up with your own answers that suit these questions within your individual context, and whatever specific obstacles may be getting in your way with, staying keto and staying keto consistently over a long enough period of time for you to start reaping all of these wonderful benefits we always go on about. So everything that I said is really just examples, but I hope you have seen the purpose of this overall strategy, this approach to asking better questions. So I'll just recap here. Okay, before I recap, something else that asking better questions does, that reframing things in a more helpful way does, is it takes the emotional charge out of it. One of my mentors would say it takes the temperature down. It's not so boiling hot. It's like, okay, we can manage this. It takes the drama out of it. It takes the self-beatdown out of it. It takes the negativity out of it. It takes that whole, and it takes the judging out of it, that self-judging. What's wrong with me? Why can't I stick to this? Why is this so hard? All of that, the only possible answers to those questions are negative and terrible. Really. I mean, it probably never occurred to you before, but when you think about it, like, the only answers to those questions are not helpful. So when we ask the more productive question, the question that opens up that opportunity for constructive, positive, actionable, helpful answers, there's no judgment there. There's no self-beatdown. It's empowering. It's liberating. It's empowering because it gives you actionable steps. It gives you more agency. It's almost like we can feel like a victim of outside circumstances. Why is this so hard for me? Why can't I stick to the da, da, da? versus where do I have control here? What can I actually do? What do I have the agency to do? What is within my capacity to do? Maybe there are some things we can't. No one has a perfect life. We're always going to have obstacles, but okay, those are the obstacles. Where do I not have obstacles that I could actually really start making some headway? It takes the judgment away. It really does. It it just stops being self-defeatist. Do you know what I mean? There's no emotion in it when you say, well, how could I make this easier? What would have to change? It's all right. I'm beating the dead horse. I just think that's something to be aware of when you use this strategy. That's part of why it's helpful. Is because when you ask the more negative, loaded, like emotionally charged questions, it kind of keeps you stuck. Like I said, you feel like a victim of your circumstances. You feel like you don't have any control. You're just lost in that cycle of feeling like a failure, of feeling incompetent, of feeling like you'll never get anywhere. And when you feel like that, it's very hard to stop feeling like that. It tends to spiral. It tends to get worse. It's like a self-fulfilling prophecy. Versus when we start asking these far more helpful questions, like I said, it is very liberating, very empowering, and it actually makes you feel more confident and more competent. Because you have literally enumerated several things that you can do and that you are capable of doing that could actually start moving the needle on your progress with keto. Okay, coming up on 17 minutes here. Let me close out here, but thank you again for watching. And quick announcements for you. If you are having a hard time with keto, if you need a reset, if you have been a little bit off the map for a while and you kind of need to hunker down and get back to the basics, check out the 7-day Start Keto Right Challenge from Adapt Your Life Academy, from Dr. Westman, from me. Adapt Your Life Academy, 7-day Start Keto Right Challenge. I'll put a link in the notes. It is, let me try to remember, September 24th through October 30th, I believe are the dates. But you can sign up now, you can get in now, but we actually kick things off September 24th, and that's 2024 in case anyone is watching this in the future. And if you're not into challenges, if you're not into like the challenge thing, we actually have round 11, the 11th cohort of the Keto Made Simple Masterclass coming up right on the heels of the 7-day challenge. The Keto Made Simple Masterclass is a 3-week program where you get tons and tons of personal support directly from yours truly, directly from Dr. Westman, directly from our team of admins, all of whom have worked with Dr. Westman and myself for years, and all of whom are long-term keto success stories themselves. So they know what they're doing and they know how to help other people do it too. And so that, we call it KMS, Keto Made Simple. Let me see if I can remember the dates for that. Enrollment for Keto Made Simple runs from September 30th through October 7th. September 30 through October 7, and we get started. Day 1 of the 3 weeks is October 8th. There is nothing else out there like it. If you need help, like I said, getting a reset, getting back to basics, or getting clear. If you've been doing keto, but you're floundering and you're listening to too many people and you don't know what the HELL to do anymore, you don't know who to believe, what to do, Keto Made Simple. We call it that for a reason. We've had few thousand people come through it now because we usually have about at least 600 people in each cohort. This is like a big deal, people. We've helped a lot of people. Why don't you let us help you and make yourself the next success story? The help you want is waiting for you. It's available to you. Click on the links in the notes to see all the details. Get on the various wait lists. If you sign up for the wait list for KMS, we will notify you as soon as enrollment opens, and that also like guarantees you a spot. It kind of reserves your seat. And all of it's online. You can do it from anywhere in the world. We've had people from all over participate in previous cohorts. And Don't forget, I do have a Patreon. If you want more personalized support, if you want to have multiple live calls with me every week to either, again, get personalized help troubleshooting your diet, get better results, or if you just have questions about keto, about metabolism, nutrition in general, or you just want to vent about keto, vent about your spouse or your kids who aren't doing keto or whatever, check out the Patreon. There's lots of offerings there. And I think that's it. And if you just like to watch my videos and you're not into any kind of classes or memberships, that's cool too. Like I said, I appreciate you for being here and for watching this. And until next time, keep the crazy out of your keto.